What's up? This is That Dirty Spoon from the IWC, and this is the Wrestling Recap Show for June 26, 2012. First, I'd like to apologize for being gone for a while. After my vacation, every one of my computers decided to blow up, and then my router committed suicide. So I've not been able to get on the internet for about 3 weeks. I got away with it for 1 week, but then I just couldn't do anything. So, thanks to a lot of extra money that I really don't have, I'm here. Anyway, you don't care about that. You want to talk about wrestling. So do I. It feels so good to be able to talk about wrestling. And I'm so glad Raw didn't suck last night. I'm not saying it was the greatest Raw ever, but after the last couple of weeks, those abysmal tries from Raw, even the legends of Cyndi Lauper and Vader 2 weeks ago couldn't save those episodes. And now I'm glad, and I did not believe I say this, but I'm glad to see that Vicky Guerrero was able to partially save Monday night's episode, not only by getting in a bathing suit, but allowing AJ to also get in a bathing suit, as well as many of the other divas. That, unfortunately, or fortunately, that's match of the night for me. And if we can get some more divas matches like that, then Linda McMahon will probably not win her Senate race. But I'll be happy. Anyway, some interesting things came out of Raw this past Monday night. First of all, we found out that the WWE Money in the Bank match will feature only former WWE champions. I'm not a particular fan of this. I thought that the Money in the Bank ladder matches should be a way to showcase young and up-and-coming talent. This is one of the first times where they've explicitly made sure that some of the new guys are not going to be in it. Does that mean it's going to be a bad match? Well, let's see who's in it. Kane, Big Show, Y2J, and John Cena. Okay, it's not screaming at me, 10 5-star match for sure. I'm not seeing a 10 with this match. The Big Show and Kane are notorious for being slower brawler types. Cena is Cena, and Y2J is probably the most athletic of the four that have been announced. Now, since only former WWE champions are eligible for this match, that really narrows the field on who could flesh this out. That only leaves Alberto Del Rio, Rey Mysterio, and The Miz that I can think of off the top of my head. Randy Orton will probably not be featured in this match, especially with his recent suspension. I'm not sure what WWE is going to do with him. All reports are saying that he will be pushed, but I don't know how hard or how high. Rey Mysterio also back from suspension. No mention of him. So he's mad. The Miz is shooting a movie. He's shooting the Marine 3 Homefront. No idea how that's going or where that's shooting or how possible it would be to get him back for Money in the Bank. So it's very well possible this is going to be a 5-person match and nobody's going to be jumping off the top of a 20-foot ladder. And that would be a disappointment for me personally. But hey, let's move on. It looks like Heath Slater's lot in life is to get squashed by WWE legends. I don't feel bad for the kid. I think that he's probably going to be well compensated for this, and he's put in a great spot. His name is going to be next to the names the likes of Roddy Piper, Cyndi Lauper, Vader, and now Psycho Sid. Not back up into being. You know what? I'd take it if I could. AJ is the #1 diva in the WWE. After we saw what happened on Monday, she was in at least 4 segments, and she won the Divas Beach Battle Royal. I mean, clearly WWE is very high on her. Kane, however, is not. He has taken himself out of the AJ lottery and has left only a Daniel Bryan Danielson and a CM Punk to fight for her attention. And also that will lead to the WWE Championship match that will be taking place at Money in the Bank. It was announced last night. It will be CM Punk and Daniel Bryan Danielson one-on-one. This is the series of matches that the IWC marks, such as myself, have really been looking forward to. I really hope that CM Punk wins, but with Money in the Bank and AJ, it is very well possible that he will lose this match. I foresee a scenario where CM Punk loses the WWE Championship to Daniel Bryan Danielson. Daniel Bryan Danielson is just cheering and going, yes, 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 and then, well, it's the Big Show, comes down with that WWE Money in the Bank briefcase, knocks out Bryan Danielson, covers him 1, 2, 3, and becomes the new WWE champion. A little bit of poetic justice for Bryan Danielson cashing in on the Big Show earlier this year. I don't know. That's just me. Smackdown continues to be where the younger talent's being featured, as well as the Christian and Cody Rhodes show is being very prominent. Alberto Del Rio's also been featured very prominent, as well as Brodus Clay. Brodus Clay was on Raw, but he got beat by the Big Show, and I'm not mad about that. I mean, I like that Brodus Clay is finally moving on to a more serious program, unlike Ryback, which is starting to get boring. But I like the development of Brodus Clay's character, and I'm looking forward to seeing what he does next. But SmackDown really is where you can see guys like the prime time players of Titus O'Neil and Darren Young, as well as Damian Sandow and Antonio Cesaro. So if you want to see some longer matches and some squash matches, because there's definitely a lot of squashes, I suggest checking out a few episodes of SmackDown. TNA, since they've gone live, has been a much better program until last Thursday night's episode. I was very disappointed, and it harkened of the days of old. I mean, well, first of all, I gotta say, the highlight of TNA Impact Wrestling last Thursday, James Storm's win over Samoa Joe, it just put him way ahead in the Bound for Glory series, and he was celebrating, and Samoa Joe showing sportsmanship, handed him a beer, and walked out of the ring. I like this. I would like to see a more intense, crazy killer Samoa Joe, but if we can't get that for whatever reason, this Samoa Joe, who's a fierce competitor and got a little bit of a sportsmanship ring, it's not a bad Samoa Joe. I'm very much looking forward to it. But the Greg Parks Abyss drama, I was kind of hoping that'd be over. It reared its ugly head again. Hulk Hogan flat out said, hey, you know that hot angle that we had last week where those 3 masked guys beat the crap out of Sting? Yeah, we're gonna ignore that. Here's the rest of the show. I mean, that was like, really? I mean, that was part of the reason why I tuned in tonight to see who those 3 masked men were, and how mad is Jeff Jarrett at Sting for, you know, whatever, because I personally think that is Jeff Jarrett who's orchestrating that behind the scenes. But again, I digress. Also, the gut check, really, I mean, I'm not mad that it was a girl. I have no problem with the fact that it was a girl. I have no problem with the fact that she might not get a contract. My problem is that she had this huge backstory that involved beating cancer, and she didn't look all that good. But how do you say, hey, you beat cancer, but you're not good enough to work for us? Bye. I mean, why even introduce that part of her backstory and then not give her a contract? And if you're going to give her a contract anyway, I mean, then just introduce her as another new knockout. I mean, it just didn't make any sense. And Brooke Hogan, it's been a couple weeks. I'm not sold. I don't know what qualification. I don't even care what qualification. I would be much more impressed if TNA said, yeah, this is Hulk Hogan's daughter, so he wrote her in a contract and now she works for us. We couldn't find a job for her, so now she's running the knockouts. Deal with it. I mean, clearly that's what happened, but she had like 3 segments in the show where she was trying to decide which knockout was going to face Miss Brooke Teskemacher for the title, and I'm just, oh God, really? You have like no qualifications whatsoever. But we might get a Mickie James psycho heel turn, so that'll be interesting. But anyway, again, the only match announced for Destination X would be my other non-miss, but the rest of it was bleh. Well, Austin Aries did relinquish the X Division title for a World Heavyweight Championship title match with Bobby Roode. I think that Austin Aries has the best shot at taking the title off of Bobby Roode. Then I hope that he is then injected into the Bound for Glory series and is allowed to win it. And at Bound for Glory, I think that he cheats to win and gets that Bound for Glory win that he did not get last year. But, you know, with the way it's still TNA, so anything could happen. Man, feels really good to be back, and I'm definitely gonna be not missing a few. Well, everything's held together with Tennessee right now. I'm hoping to get my computer situation more solidified in the next couple weeks, and then we'll be back to weekly shows, pay-per-view predictions, possibly a few post shows, and I might even try and get my good buddy Boona713 on one of these. Check me out here. Follow me on Twitter at Dirty Spoons. Definitely check out my other show, Mid-Card for Life, with my good buddy Boona713. We will probably not be, we should be doing a Money in the Bank ladder match show. That's probably going to be our next show, unless WWE does something else stupid. I mean, they've really been quiet for the last couple weeks, but anything's possible. 1000th Raw is coming up, and I'm looking forward to seeing who the new special GM is going to be for next week. We've got Destination X coming up. I will have a prediction show possibly this weekend, depending on if they announce any more matches on Thursday, which is what I'm hoping. But anyway, that is where we're at. This has been Dak Dirty Spoons from the IWC, signing off.